Greetings, YouTube. Maine was the 5th state to allow same-sex marriage. Later this week, there's going to be a vote on a referendum called Proposition number 1. It, like Proposition 8 in California, would take away the rights of same-sex couples to get married in Maine. It should come as no surprise as the National Organization for Marriage is one of the driving forces behind this bit of bigotry and hate. It seems that the National Organization for Marriage is all too willing to use law to get what they want, to spread bigotry and prejudice. But in their efforts to do so, they have brought in quite a bit of money to the state of Maine, something I believe to the tune of $1.6 million. But you see, Maine has a state law that says if a outside fundraiser brings money into the state of more than $5,000, you have to register your organization as a political action committee, or a PAC. Pretty common terminology in the political set. The Catholic Church has done it because the Catholic Church, of course, is opposed to this, as have a number of other organizations. But the National Organization for Marriage hasn't done this. So it seems that the National Organization for Marriage only follows the law when it's convenient for them. Because you see, if they file these forms, if they become a PAC, then their donations become transparent. They become a part of public record. The National Organization for Marriage doesn't want that. They don't want people to know who's donating money towards this bigoted and prejudicial bit of legislation. They want it to be all smoke and mirrors. Transparency is the last thing they want. But you see, in an open, an egalitarian society, transparency is one of the key elements to honest and open elections. I want to know who's donating money and where they're from. Why are they donating the money? As I've often said before, when you have a question, follow the money. So why doesn't the National Organization for Marriage want people to know about their donations? Are people maybe nervous to have their names and addresses released? Don't want to be associated with the fact that they're putting forth a bigoted and prejudicial bit of legislation? If you're not willing to stand up for what you say, like I am right here, right now, then don't say it. Don't donate your money in secret. If you can't be forthright with it, if you can't just come out and say, hey, this is my cash and I'm putting it here, then don't do it. Don't try to slip things in the back door. Don't try to use the system as best you can to avoid responsibility for what you're trying to do. Let's make no bones about it. What the National Organization for Marriage is trying to do is spread bigotry and prejudice and hate. And we don't need that in Maine. We don't need that in America. We don't need that in the world. Organizations like this need to be known that the age of the Neanderthal is over. It's time now for people to be open, to be honest, to be accepting of the fact that things in life sometimes aren't the way you want them. But we can all tolerate each other. We can all get along. We can all act like mature adults. There are lots of things in life that I don't like. But I preserve those people's rights to express their opinions and their viewpoints with my life. I take a very strong stance on freedom of speech. And I'm not going to step on anyone's right to stand up and say whatever they want to say. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to listen. And I can guarantee you that most of them are going to waste their breath where I'm concerned. But I want them to have the right. I want them to have the forum to speak it. So you go ahead. You try to get the state of Maine to pass a prejudicial and bigoted law. But I want to know who you are. Don't hide in the shadows. If you're not willing to step up and stand in the public square and decree, hey, I'm a bigot, then don't donate your money. Because that's what you're doing. by donating money to such an organization, trying to get a law that increased our civil liberties taken away, you're being a bigot. We don't need that. Never have. Let people in Maine marry who they want to. Don't get in the way of someone's relationship. Don't prevent someone from being able to marry the person they love. Because I have yet, still, after all this time, have never heard a single person give me an argument that didn't ultimately boil down to, it's because my religion told me so. I actually had someone speak to me about this via private message. I won't identify who they are. And then the final statement that finally ended the conversation was, Christians are in danger. No, they're not. 78% of Americans identify themselves as Christian. 78% majority is not in danger of anything. This is about love. This is about marrying the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's a good thing. That's a stabilizing factor in our society. We should be endorsing it, not fighting it. So if you're in Maine and you hear my voice, vote no on Proposition 1. Show the world that all Americans are equal under the law. And tell the National Organization for Marriage to go the hell away.